Okay, I'm shifting to audio now because there's no more space in my in my iPad. So I'm shifting to audio recording. Okay, this is excellent, no? I think this is a better performance than the ones I met. But the thing is, who connected? Because there's a second part to this. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, first you have to view the site. You have to view the blog. Okay, uh, so what is the blog site that I am referring you to look at? Huh? Yes, WordPress, and afterward, yes. And what is the particular site? Yes. It's science and romkumagun.wordpress.com. So view that site, and you are forced to like something. You are forced to like something. So when you like something, then I will be notified that you have liked something. So I will see your name, your username, then I will invite you to be a co-author, of the site. So you are, in fact, co-authoring with me. And that site is automatically publishing a post in my Facebook page. So every time you post there, it's as if you are posting like me, like we are one. But you will be identified that you are the poster. Okay, so we are all co-authors. Okay? But I'm going ahead too much of myself, of this project. I'm just very, very excited about this one. Who has a WordPress account even before this subject? Is anybody using WordPress already? Before? So you're blogging already? Not active, but you have blog, you have, why are you not active? Other plans? So what were you blogging about? Huh? Literature, poetry, like that? Okay. But using WordPress? Oh, another, not WordPress. Okay, not WordPress, but you actively blog. Maybe you're using Wattpad? Tumblr. Okay, Tumblr is also a blog. Tumblr. Who's using WordPress? Let me begin with WordPress. Who has used WordPress before? Okay, Blogger. Who has used Blogger? So we have one, Tumblr. Uh, what about, those are the more popular sites. But Facebook, who is using Facebook? So since this announcement was posted in a Facebook group, do you have a group? Okay. So I suppose everyone is a Facebook user. Okay. Okay. Every time you post in Facebook, it's actually a blog. Come to think of it, it's actually a blog. Now, every time you post your text, it's a blog. Every time you post a link, it's a blog. Every time you post a photo, it's a blog. Okay? And if you think seriously about what you are doing in Facebook, you are actually publishing. You are publishing something that is in your mind. Okay? How many here has set their Facebook post to public? The privacy settings, I mean. Who is actively posting publicly? Remember, we have privacy settings in Facebook. You can set it to friends only, custom, public. Who has set his or her Facebook privacy settings to public? Anyone? So all of you have set it to friends only. Okay. I suggest that you be discriminate about posting totally friends only, because some posts can be public, right? So you can select that particular post to public so that more can benefit. But I understand the necessity for privacy settings. Okay, but some posts can be public. More can benefit. More can benefit from your post. So you can set that particular post to public. Okay. So you are actually all blogging. Come to think of it already, you are all blogging already and using Facebook, which is a very, very important invention for the past. How many years is Facebook now? 10 years already. So for 10 years now, and I've used Facebook only, I think, 2010. So I'm just using it for 4 years. But for 10 years, people have been using it. And I recently discovered that there is such a word as blogosphere. Blogosphere. I heard it in a contest by it, starring Boss Vic. What's the game? What's the TV show? TV quiz? Huh? Starring with, oh yes, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? There was a question. There was a question. What is the meaning of blogosphere? So one of the choices there was, it's the space in the internet, ganyan, ganyan. I said, oops, that's not the answer. That's a trick answer. Maybe some blogosphere, maybe something in space and something. But when the answer was revealed, that was the correct answer. That was the correct answer. Okay, so there is a word now called the blogosphere. I hope my pronunciation is correct. Blogosphere. No? Blogosphere. So it's the space. It's the space where people connect by way of blogs, right? Because there is atmosphere, right? Atmosphere. So we know that's where the elements of air, water meet, no? In the atmosphere. What other spheres do you know? Atmosphere, blogos, hydrosphere. Is there such a thing, hydrosphere? Okay. Anything, space in the waters, right? Hydro, water, sphere, space. So anything that lives and stays in the area of water, hydrosphere. So that's where we meet our Serena. No, that's where we meet the mermaids. No, that's where we meet the fish, the sea plants, the seabed, you know. Okay, but the mermaids, where do they fall? Hydrosphere, where? Mermaids. Do you believe in mermaids? Have you seen in mermaids? Okay. So I think mermaids would fall somewhere in the blogosphere, no? Somewhere in the blogosphere, somewhere ideas, no? In the world of ideas, where we blog, where we can blog about. Who likes mermaids here, by the way? You like mermaids? Why do you like mermaids?
Because I like the idea.
You like the idea of a mermaid. And who is your favorite mermaid?
Jezebel.
Jezebel?
No. Mer- mermaid. Ariel. Ariel.
Ariel. Ariel is in the Little Mermaid, right? Yes, Little Mermaid. I believe it's, is it the Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale? Little Mermaid, yes. So, Ariel and Jezebel are creations who live in the blogosphere. Even before the internet came, come to think of it, right? Even before the internet came, uh, people have thought of the idea of Ariel, the mermaid, who met a sailor and fell in love with the idea of having legs, right? She was stopped by her father Neptune. Near Neptune, his father, right? Was it Neptune of Ariel? Or, huh? Or the sea god? or Neptune, right? Neptune. Neptune was her father. He was stopped. And so Ariel, really wanting to experience what it is to be human, maybe not by choice also because she fell in love, right? She fell in love. So we don't really, we cannot blame Ariel for wanting to be a human being. But the thing is, it's in the blogosphere. Ariel is one, but there are more. There are more. And in our class, in natural science, I want us all to participate in that blogosphere. Okay? Because after all, science will be something always there. No? A large part of it is really in the blogosphere. Okay? Who is your favorite scientist, may I ask? Who is your favorite scientist? I'll just get a quick survey before you blog. Glenn Acero. Where's Glenn? Who's your favorite scientist? By the way, when I say favorite scientist, maybe it's not a total scientist. Maybe he's a common person, not in the science field, but he thinks scientifically. Like, for example, have you seen the movie Lorenzo's Oil? Who has seen Lorenzo's Oil? Okay, maybe somebody will take me up on that idea. You watch Lorenzo's Oil. He's not a scientist there, but he thought like a scientist. And it solved his problem. Okay? So by the way, when I throw these ideas, take note of this because you can blog about it, you can do the idea, and then we can talk about it. And then it gives me a chance to remember you. Right? Gives me, oops, he watched it or she watched it. Okay? So it gives me an idea of what you're thinking. And if you are learning, which is my goal, my goal is for you to learn. Okay? But I can only pick up from where you are, from what you're giving me also. I'll give, but you give me also. Okay? So I'm now giving questions. And I need to know where you are right now in terms of science. Okay? How important is science to you? How much have you thought about science in the past? Did anybody come here from a science high school? Is anybody here wanting to change to a science course? Is anybody here a member of the Science Club of Santo Tomas, if there is one? Okay, just like to get a quick look into this class. So Glenn, who is your favorite scientist? Okay. tell me about why you like Albert Einstein?
Because he was the most intelligent man daw po dati.
And so what if he's the most intelligent?
Um, Marami po siyang inventions and discoveries po.
So what were his most important discoveries, you think?
Wala po akong alam na specific pero alam ko po marami siyang na-contribute.
So in general, you know Albert Einstein, and that's a good thing. See, you know Albert Einstein, and you know he's probably the most intelligent man this world has ever produced. And I think you are correct. Because if you ask, who is the most intelligent man in the world? Of course, next to Mr. Rom Kumagun. And I would agree in a way that it's Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein. And Albert Einstein, who can add or comment to Glenn's answer? Anybody? Help me remember you. Help me remember you. Because if you answer something, I will remember you, right? Like for example, this one is important to me. Albert Einstein is my best friend in natural science. So if you can add to what Glenn has already said, you know, right now I can remember Glenn in some way. Glenn is the first person who identified that it is his favorite scientist. And he has identified that Albert Einstein is probably the most intelligent person in the world. Glenn has been honest enough to tell me that he doesn't know the exact discoveries that Albert Einstein contributed, but he knows he has. Okay? So even in that level, I understand Glenn. I can remember Glenn. Plus the fact that he helped me with the projector. So who can add to Einstein? Yes, please. Your name, please.
Joaquin Legaspi. Joaquin Legaspi. Albert Einstein said that mass is equal to the energy of a person and that time does not move in one direction but is just one point.
Okay, thank you, Joaquin. Joaquin has identified a theory. A theory. Can you identify the particular equation that he has given?
E is equal to mc squared.
So can you remember that now? The most famous equation that man has ever produced, the most elegant. E equals mc raised to the second power. Diba? Okay. E equals mc squared. Energy is equal to the mass times, what is C? Okay. And that is the most elegant. We will go through that. No? We'll go through some of those details. What about Marjorie de la Rosa? Where's Marjorie? Marjorie, yes. Would you prefer to add something, or would you like to answer?
Favorite scientist po?
Yes.
Hindi po ako familiar. Pero si Albert Einstein.
Why?
Hindi lang po siya about science. Parang meron din siyang, ano yun? Word of wisdom. And parang ina-apply niya rin sa totoong buhay, yung mga science.
Can you give an example na ina-apply niya sa buhay niya?
Wait. Nakalimutan ko. Ang dami eh.
Paraphrase, doesn't have to be exact.
Wait lang, sir. Pwede ba isa muna? Wait. ano ba, yung imagination is more important than knowledge. Um, Yun, i-explain ko po ba yan? Um, Di po, para po kasi kahit matalino siya and all, parang alam niya pa rin yung na mas imagination since yung imagination yung mother of knowledge. Parang bago magka-knowledge, imagination na. So, hindi siya hindi siya puro science, parang nag-ano siya with feelings.
Okay, thank you very much, Marjorie. Okay, Marjorie has identified for us one of the most connected to our work as advertising professionals. And what is that word? Imagination, correct. Okay. A scientist, the best for that matter, has identified imagination as a key element. Although Marjorie has somehow dissected the two, that this is intelligence, this one is imagination. That's how I got it. No? But for Albert Einstein, his way to intelligence is imagination. Do you know how he got or how he arrived at his discoveries? He used imagination. So what would he do? Because maybe in your mind, the common image of a scientist is somebody maybe writing equations, studying, or maybe in the laboratory. That's the usual. And of course, Einstein is famous here. He's famous, okay. But remember, Einstein was young once. Okay? Albert Einstein was very young once. And he also fell in love. Albert Einstein also fell in love. And when you are in love, you have a lot of nice feelings, right? Okay. And Albert Einstein, around that time when he was young and in love, what he does is he imagines himself to ride a beam of light. Can you imagine? Can you do that? Can you do that? Why not? Huh? Imagine that you are riding a beam of light. But can we imagine that you are riding a broom? We can, right? We can imagine riding a broom. You are a Bruhilda. You're a witch. No, we have that image of a witch riding a broom, a broomstick. But I have not seen images, iconic images of a man riding a beam of light. So how come? Isn't this our job as advertising professionals to imprint upon our audience's mind images that will last, images that matter, images that will sell, images that will be remembered? Now, if we can remember a witch riding a broomstick, why not a man, a scientist, or a student riding a beam of light? Okay, close your eyes for a few seconds. I invite you to close your eyes for a few seconds. Let's attempt. Let's attempt. Can you see yourself? Can you see yourself? Don't look at each other. Just close your eyes. And maybe in order to contrast the light, not imagine, you can see in fact the darkness, right? Because your eyes are closed. So your eyes are closed, so it's total darkness now. And you are there. and you see light. Okay, you see a certain kind of light. Try to ride. Try to ride on that light. Ride on that light. Do your best. Do your best. What kind of light is it in the first place? Is it a beam, like what Einstein is using? Is it a flash of light? Is it a ball of light? Is it a river of light? Try to figure out. Try to see in the first place. Now, in this exercise, as we do this, try to feel how is the light that you are riding on brushing against your legs. How are you riding it in the first place? Because there may be several ways of riding the light. Maybe you are riding it like a motorcycle. Are you riding it like you are riding a jet plane? Are you riding it like you are riding it like Superman? You can also ride in it by swimming in it? Or just being carried away in whatever position? Like the way I see it, Einstein may just be sitting and just maybe he's just a passenger. Maybe you're just a passenger riding that line. Now let that light bring you somewhere. Let that light bring you somewhere. Any place you'd like to go. Any place. Let it bring you somewhere. And you are now in that place. Okay, you are now in that place. You are still riding that light. You are a passenger. I suggest you are a passenger, although if you don't like to be just a passenger, it's okay. But I suggest you are a passenger only so you can view. You have 360 degrees spherical view of everything around you now, where you are. And look at details. What do you see? What do you see? First, where are you now? What do you see? Remember details. Remember the colors. Remember the sights, the feelings. Try to touch something. Try to touch something. What do you hear? Do you hear something? What about the temperature? What is the temperature in that area? Now let's get out of that light vehicle and let's try to walk around a little in that area. So we are now getting off our light, and then we'll walk a little. We'll walk a little in that area. How does it feel in your feet? What do you see? What do you hear? You now get back to the vehicle, get back to the light, get back to the light, and we will go back to the classroom. Okay? Ride with the light. We go back to the classroom. And at the count of 3, we open our eyes. 3, 2, 1. Open your eyes. Okay. Okay, let's see if somebody was able to successfully travel or ride the beam of light. Let me, first I'd like to ask for a volunteer. Anybody would like to volunteer the experience if you did not, if you were able to successfully visit? No volunteers yet? By the way, I love volunteerism. My best friend and wife is a volunteer of the Jesuit Volunteers of the Philippines. They don't get paid enough there, but you know the idea of being a volunteer? I volunteer. I'm giving my services, or maybe for free. So no volunteers yet? Yes, please. What's your name?
Nika po.
Nika. Okay, Nika. Were you able to successfully travel in Philippines?
Yes po.
Where did you go?
Bale, first po,
Tell us about the light that you know.
ayun.
What kind of light was it?
Yun, yung pina-imagine niyo po ako ng light, beam po siya ng light, yung parang beam.
Okay.
Tapos, na-imagine ko, mainit po siya. So, parang dinagdagan ko ng, di ba, beam po ng light. Tapos, nilagdagan ko po ng couch. Tapos, nakaupo po ako sa couch, ganyan lang ako. Tapos, nata-travel yung beam ng light. Nata-travel po yung beam ng light. Tapos, lumapag po ako sa area ng parang simple nature lang. Na, alam niyo po yung nature na parang may mga sun rays. Parang doon po ako lumapag. Tapos pati po yung couch ko lumapag. Kakaganon lang ako sa nature. Tapos, nung bumalik na po ako, nagtawag po ako ng ibang beam light. Tawag po ako para makabalik po ako sa classroom. Tapos yun na po. Opo, kasi po parang yung beam light na original na sinakyan ko noong una, na-absorb na siya nung lapag. So ayun po, nagtawag po ako ng iba.
Hindi naman nahirapan. Nagtawag.
Hindi ba, parang gumano lang ako, hi, mga ganun.
Okay. So at your beck and call ang light. Okay, that's good, no? And while you were lying there with nature, what was coming across your mind? Did you somehow discover or tell us more about when you were there?
Parang forest siya na sobrang daming trees, tapos meadows, pero walang animals. Pero may naririnig akong parang birds na nag chip 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 ganun po. Parang sobrang peaceful. Parang yun po, opo.
Do you like, or what do you like to do? Would you like to travel again some other time?
Opo.
May I know why?
Kasi peaceful po. Parang ang sarap tumira doon. Kung may wifi lang doon, titira na po ako doon.
Okay. So, it's the peace that, okay? It's the peace. So, how long was our experience? Maybe 10 minutes or less? But because of this imaginary ride, Nika, correct, was able to somehow experience peace in that forest, which is, really, if you want to have peace, you can go to the forest, okay? Have you been to a real forest? Not yet. Eco Park in La Mesa Dam. Yes, it's a good forest. It's a secondary forest with, but my recommendation also is to go to a forest like Mount Banahaw. In Benguet, there's a mount, the second highest peak in Benguet, Mount I forget the name now. In Bataan, there would be Mount Natib. So going to the forest would need some kind of mountaineering skills. Okay, this one is not just imaginary. You have to really walk, climb, do some rock climbing. Who is a mountaineer here? Is there a mountaineer in the group? Any mountaineer? No mountaineer? You're a mountaineer? What group do you? Uh, two mountains. What mountains have you climbed? Where are those? Okay, so you've been into a real forest. Okay, she has been into. What's your name again? Anna. Anna. So Anna. So the two of you, Anna and Nika, should go to a forest one of these days. We have Mount Makiling, which is quite near. Mount Makiling. Uh, I forget the name there in Benguet. The second highest peak. Second highest peak. What is the highest peak in the Philippines? What mountain is there? Huh? Mount Apo. That's one of the places where I'd like to visit also. Mount Apo. In Batangas, there's Mount Makulot. Mount Makulot, which is the usual beginner's climb. Okay? Because when you really go into a forest, there's peace. No? And you have not been one, but you discovered peace simply by traveling in an imaginary way. So I thank Nika for volunteering and sharing that experience. Who else would like to volunteer her journey or his journey by way of using the beam of light? You have something in common now with Albert Einstein. But Albert Einstein traveled most of the time in the universe. That's where he went. That's where he went, in the universe. So Einstein was sitting there, beam of light, with the atoms and the electrons, and, he's imagining how it moves. Who else would like to volunteer her experience? I will call you anyway. Yes. What's your name? Janina. Yes, Janina. Share your experience, please. Was it a good trip? Tell us about it.
Yung beam of light po na sinakyan ko. Hindi siya beam of light, para po siyang wave.
Wave.
Tas,
Wave of light.
para nagsisurf ako.
Observe. Okay.
Tapos, ano po,
You have a surfboard.
hindi, para pong, yun lang, wave lang. Tapos, ewan ko paano ako nakasakay doon. Tapos, nakalipad po ako sa parang clouds, ganun. Tapos, iniwan ako ng wave. Kaya, parang nag-jump ako. Kumuha ako ng mga beam of light dun sa taas. Tapos, yun po, pababa ulit.
So when you were there, what were you feeling? What were you thinking? What were you seeing?
Yung bright po, tapos parang masaya. Ganun.
You're right. It's more of the ride. Okay. When you were in the cloud, did you catch any of the elements there? The clouds?
Nag-jump po ako.
Did you jump there? Okay. Would you like to travel there again? Using the beam of light? Oh, okay. Why?
It's fun.
It's fun. Okay. It's the fun. Yes. Anna, it's the fun. See, it's more fun in the beam of light. It's more fun in the Philippines. It's more fun using imagination. So it's the fun of the ride that Anna was attracted to and would like to do more of. And Albert Einstein probably had that feeling also. No, it wasn't just all the mathematics and all the science theories, but it was the fun of it. And I guess that's one thing that I wish. That's one thing that I wish that this class in natural science will be fun. Okay? And I will have to rely on your sense of fun. What is your sense of fun? Okay. And I hope science, even in a small way, is fun for you. Uh, Even in a very small way, it's fun. I hope your high school teachers were able to motivate you and open up a world for you where science is something fun. Did your science high school teacher do that to you? Let me have a short answer. Hannah, where is Hannah? Ledesma. Hannah? Hannah? Okay. Hannah, did your high school teacher um, make science fun for you? Not all of them are fun. But how many out of 100%, how many were fun teachers? Fun. Were teachers who you think were fun? Out of 100%? 75% let you feel fun for science because they were fun. Okay. And where is your high school, may I know? USC High School. 75%. Passing. Not passing. Okay. But how much more if it were 100%? Okay. Well, the fact of the matter is, some of you may be thinking that natural science, 6 units, advertising degree, what for? We just finished this course. We just go through with natural science, it's done. What matters is my advertising degree. That I know my advertising and natural science will be the least of my priorities. I can understand that. Okay? But let me invite you, that a lot of basic things, if we truly understand the science behind it, we will have greater appreciation and have more fun in what we are doing. Okay? Like, for example, advertising. What can I say about advertising? Advertising is, what are the sciences in advertising, by the way? Okay. Well, right now, what I can think of is, of course, advertising. We will have to deal with television. We'll have to deal with radio, print, right? Now, if we understand a bit more about paper, about radio waves, about electricity, about telecommunications, about the technologies. These are sciences. These are science integrated. And you are in advertising. Yeah? The more you are connected to technology, right? The more you are connected to technology, the better you will be as advertisers, I think. Like, for example, who would consider himself here uh, above average in technology, in communications technology? Above average, who would say that you are above average in terms of literacy, in terms of practice in communications technology, computer, applications? Anyone? No one raising, or just shy, or just really no one? No one? Okay, what's your favorite application in the computer? Juan Gabriel Mendoza. Where's Juan Gabriel? What's your, how do you, how do you spend your time in the computer? Huh? Huh? Internet, what about, what applications do you use in the internet? Safari, huh? Google Chrome? What other things do you use? Applications? Photoshop? What else? Illustrator? Huh? Okay. Games. Okay, games is okay. Okay, games is okay. 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 Thank you, Glenn. Did you say Glenn? Juan Gabriel. Correct, Juan Gabriel. Um, and now, Juan, add WordPress. Okay. Because WordPress will benefit with your talent in Photoshop and Illustrator. Okay. Because I notice that WordPress users are heavy on the text. And if ever they need photos, they use others. Hardly do I see original artworks and photos. So, to Juan Gabriel and to the rest of the class, that's an advantage, right? You have Photoshop, you have Illustrator. You even have Flash. Flash, I still do not know if it can be integrated or embedded in... oh no, Flash is video, right? Flash can be exported to a video, so it could be. It can be. Okay. What's your favorite applications in the computer? Joaquin Legaspi? Oh no, I called Joaquin earlier. Sit down first. Joaquin volunteered earlier. Jinwell Hong. Where's Jinwell? Yes, Jinwell. What's your favorite computer application? Illustrator. Okay. What else do you use aside from Illustrator? Photoshop. Photoshop and Illustrator. Good. No, again, engaging in vector-based and pixel-based software are important. I'd wish to see more of Illustrator work or in your blogs. That's what I will be looking at. See? That's why the blog. I'd like to see your work. I'd like to see your work in Illustrator and Photoshop. Who is into video here? Who is into video? Yes? What do you use? What's your name? What's your name? Ang? Jay? What's your... Huh? Aquino? Joseph Andre Aquino. Yes, Joseph, you're into video? Yes. What applications do you use in video?
Sir, Premiere po, tsaka Final Cut.
And level of proficiency?
Tama lang po.
Expert? Okay, Adobe Premiere and Final Cut. Adobe Premiere, are you using it? Are you using Adobe Premiere in Macintosh based computer or in Windows? Windows? MacBook? For both Final Cut and Premiere. Okay. Who else is into video? We have Movie Maker in Windows, right? Oh, have you tried Movie Maker? Yeah. Huh? High school. Oh. So you can use that also. But sooner or later you will find that it will not be enough. It's not enough. Okay? And Joseph has identified Adobe Premiere and Final Cut Pro for Apple. Final Cut is exclusive for Apple computers. No? So if we have a paid account in WordPress, we can upload our own videos in WordPress. However, I am still using the free account, so we are limited to 3 GB of space, and we cannot upload videos in WordPress, at least in my account. But I am requesting my brother to finance $100 a year, $99 a year, so we can upload videos in the WordPress. The limited to 13 GB, 13 GB. But that's $99 per year. If my brother will agree to support me on that matter, so you can also upload. No? You can use Movie Maker or iMovie. No? iMovie, who is using iMovie? iMovie, are you happy with iMovie? Okay.
I would like to learn more on Premiere Pro and other apps for video.
Yes. iMovie is like a movie maker. No? Although it has more functions compared to Movie Maker. No? And it's also different if you use it or using your iPad or using your MacBook. Who else is using iMovie? You're also using iMovie, but you're using Final Cut, so it's already the advanced version of iMovie. Okay. Now, that's where I am coming from, by the way. I'm heavy into video. I'm heavy into video blogs. Uh, my name, by the way, is Rom Kumagun. But my full name is Jose Romualdo Kumagun. No, Jose Romualdo Kumagun. And my first experience in science really is in grade school. That's where I first fell in love with science and with art for that matter. Okay? By the way, so that's what I would like you to become. I, I would like you to be Leonardo da Vinci. At the end of the semester, I wish each one of you here will have something in common with Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo. No? They are artists, but they are also scientists. And there's no problem. There's no problem. In fact, it helps one of the other, right? Let me show you two of my prized possessions. These are two of my prized possessions. Okay. This one is, but my earliest, it's a ribbon. It's just a ribbon. It's a grade school ribbon of me joining a contest by the Silahis Lions Club. But I studied at Lourdes School, Quezon City. And I remember 3 persons always immediately thought of by the school whenever there's a contest in art making. Okay? One has become a professional painter, Sarmiento, Alwinder Sarmiento. I don't know if it rings a bell. One is in the U.S. now, Raymond Correa. I think he's doing art professionally also. I haven't really gotten around to talk to him. Me, I've not gone into professional art, but I've always used it in education to the best of my abilities. This one is one of the medals I got. It's a science quiz medal. It's a bronze medal. It's a bronze medal. See, the cockroaches The cockroaches have eaten. So this is a museum piece to be displayed at the UST Museum. Um, it's a bronze medal for a science quiz in Lourdes School. Okay. Um, and I'm glad my mother kept it for me. Okay, she kept it. So you will see this in the blog, by the way. I kept it. I'm just maybe sharing with you uh, an experience that I still cherish. Winning those two things. Small event, really, small event, but it makes me feel wanting to do more, right? It makes me feel wanting to learn more about science. See, I'm not really a science major, okay? My degree is in communication arts, okay? 1986 at the Ateneo. I took up business management masters at the Philippine Christian University and currently taking up my doctorate in educational management at the Lyceum Northwestern University in Pangasinan. Is anybody from Pangasinan here? No one from Pangasinan? Okay. So you can see that I am a non-science major. I am a non-science major now tasked to teach natural science for advertising students. And I think that's also a good thing in a way because somehow we have something in common. We are both non-science majors. Okay? So my goal is for us to learn science in a non-science setting. I do not expect you to be scientists in the future, but somehow I expect you to think like one, to think like Einstein. In fact, what we have done this morning is in that area. We have thought like Einstein in a very special way. Okay, in a very special way. Because then the next thing is probably Einstein, after discovering some kind of an insight using his imagination, eventually had to go down to his desk and try some equations. Eventually, he would devise experiments whether his insights were correct. Okay? Because imagination can be a start, but for science, it cannot be totally imagination. We have to still go back to the ground. Still have to go back to the ground. Okay? Now, let me share with you. Times it. Can we turn off the lights, please? Let's see this one. Where's is outside? Okay. This one is yeah. This one is one of the things where I'm coming from. Familiar with Star Trek? Okay. Original Star Trek? No, not original. So the recent ones. TV? TV or the movies? The movies. Okay. What was the last movie? Into Darkness? Yes, Into Darkness. I haven't seen that one yet, but okay. So most of you may have seen, or some of you may have seen Into Darkness, which was recently shown. But Star Trek actually is already a remake or an offshoot of an original TV version in the 1960s. 1966, in fact, the year I was born. Okay? So, Star Trek for me has been a constant companion in my ride of the beam of light that we share. Star Trek is one of the beam of light that I ride.
These are the voyages of the starship University of San Thomas. Its lifelong mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life in new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Okay. So that's Star Trek. That's the remake of this is starring William Shatner. That's the real original of Star Trek. No, but you see, if you ask me my alter ego, I guess it would be Captain James T. Kirk of Star Trek. I idolize him so much because he has moved in a blogosphere where action and science meet. He has been faced with so many intergalactic trials that he has to face. And he needed to make decisions whether to use his phaser, his armed phaser, to disarm, to disengage, or even to kill the enemy. But the thing is, in some way, in some level, the arts, not just in some level, in a very deep level, the arts, for me, is a way to explore science rather, no, to explore science and to express science. To explore and to express science. And the narrative, the idea of a narrative, the idea of a story, is one way we can understand and appreciate science more. Like, if I ask you, do you have a favorite science fiction story or character? Science fiction. Do you like science fiction? Yes. What science fiction story do you like or character story? Huh? Star Wars. Star Wars. Okay, Star Wars. Yes. Yes. After Star Trek, by the way, a lot of science fiction became very popular. Okay? In fact, what is the name of the space shuttle? What is the name of the space shuttle? Huh? Oh, 10 points for 10 points for somebody who can identify the name of the space shuttle. Oh, dalawa na binabato kong idea. First is Lorenzo's oil and then yung space shuttle. Something you should be reading about. Space shuttle. In fact, may Filipino astronaut na nga, di ba? Oh, di ba? May nag-try ba mag-apply doon? Wala. Overage na daw ako kaya uugod-ugod na, hindi na pwedeng maging astronaut ng axe. Okay, space shuttle. Sige, hindi ko muna sasagutin yun, but the name of the space shuttle is actually named after the space vehicle used by Star Trek. Okay, so that's how influential Star Trek is. And in the anniversaries of Star Trek, NASA gave or gives special tribute to Star Trek. Now, what is Star Trek but an imaginative, right? It's an imaginative exercise. Somebody thought, actually the original idea of Star Trek is, it's a Western. It's an American Western. Remember in the movies, we have cowboy stories, very popular in the 50s. Okay, so somebody thought in the 60s, what if we have a Western but set in space? Okay, it's a Western set in space. That was the concept. That was the concept. And at first, nobody wanted it, but then eventually it became a fad. And up to now, we have Into Darkness. Okay, now video, right? So I was asking about video. If you can come up with stories related to science and advertising, so better. It doesn't have to be very grand. It can be humorous, like this one. It's just humorous. In fact, we want it fun, right? So if you can come up with something humorous, why not? Like, for example, maybe I should throw another idea. So maybe somebody can take me up on this idea. Oh, I will ask, what are you reminded of? If I show you here a boy sitting under a mango tree, what are you reminded of? Huh? I heard something here. Juan Tamad, di ba? Juan Tamad. Right? Yun lang. A boy sitting here under a mango tree, and we think of Juan Tamad. Now, here on my right, another boy, but sitting under an apple tree. Huh? Thomas? Tom Sawyer? Who else? Huh? Newton. And what was Newton doing? Natutulog din ba?
Basta nalaglagan po siya ng apple.
Yes. And
Tapos
because of
na ano niya yung law of gravity.
gravity. See? Okay, my question is, what's the difference between this boy on my left who is sitting under the mango tree, but we call him Juan Tamad or Juan the lazy boy? But here on my right, the same boy, not the same boy, but another boy, maybe Caucasian, not just maybe, he's Caucasian, sitting under an apple tree, but we remember him as Isaac Newton studying gravity. Now my question is it possible that this boy on my left is actually also studying gravity? Right? I heard a yes. I believe so. It could be that he is also studying gravity. But maybe there's something wrong with us. You know, when we see a Filipino, Filipino, ang galing magnakaw. Di ba? Usually ganon. Filipino, negative. Eh. Why do we think of negative sometimes? No? Of course, there are some levels of truths to some of these criticisms, but I think what is happening there is the same. When we look at the same boy, compare the same boy here on my right, but we tend to look at him as tamad, as lazy. But for all we know, he is studying gravity. Now, my challenge is, can we come up with a campaign, an advertising campaign about that? Okay, can we change? Can we come up with an advertising campaign or images that can change the notion, or at least challenge the notion that Juan is tamad? Okay? Maybe he's not tamad. Maybe he's just Isaac Newton studying gravity. Okay? So that's another thing that I'm throwing. By the way, when I throw these things, it means I'm not yet serious what to do with it, but I seriously would like to see something done with it. You know, something like that. And the blog is the best way to show it because it's something published, something I can see, okay? Something, a record of how we have interacted in class. Okay? Because, okay, I've mentioned video, Photoshop, Illustrator. Now, music. Is there anybody into music here? Anybody into music? Who? Music? You're into music? No? Who is into music? Uh, Okay. Again, these are, I am not a, I'm not a professional singer. This is just a single. I have not, but I have several. But you see, another connection with advertising, di ba, is the idea of the voice, our biological voice, right? And in fact, there's what we call the voice science. No, I'm not sure what they're teaching here at UST, but have you found the time to think about your own voice? Because every day we relate to another person, we relate to the world using our voice. And that sound, it's a vibration. If we think of anatomy, if we think of sound waves, if we think of advertising, what is advertising if not a voice? Okay? It's a voice. Okay? And these are one of my attempts at experimenting with my voice. Ito lang. Yeah. Huh? Full screen na natin. You have made my life complete, and I love you so. Love me tender, love me true. All my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will. Love me tender, love me long. Take me to your heart, for it's there that I belong, and I never part. And I always will. By the way, you can take photos if you like. Oh, mag-picture. Oh. You can put this in your blog. Oh. Oh, picture. Oh, picture. Oh. Okay na? Okay. Ayan. Thank you. That was my first public performance of this. I have several. Yeah. Yeah. See? Okay. See this one. Uh, but you see, uh, music, music can be one way of studying science. Why? There are a lot of songs in science which we can render. I'm trying to practice Born Free now. I'm in the state, yes, Born Free by Matt Monroe. If it's the story of a friendship between a lioness and a scientist, Born Free. So, but even the song relates to science and nature, no? So I guess this would be a good time to share the requirements for this subject. Okay, the requirements for this subject will have to be applied to what I believe to be the most basic of educational theories, which is the multiple intelligences theory. Okay, who is familiar with the multiple intelligences theory? Anyone? Okay, this one I cannot throw because it will be part of the requirements of the subject. Okay, the multiple intelligence theory says that we have more than one kind of intelligence. In fact, we have 9. The last time I thought it was only 7. But when I reviewed the theories, it's already 9. And more are still even being proposed. Now, what are those 9? Maybe I should begin with the usual thing that is stressed in educational settings like schools. Okay, the most stressed is the linguistic intelligence. The theory says we have within us, some more than others, the power and the ability to understand and appreciate linguistics, meaning words, sentences, verbal communication. No? Now, if you find yourself loving words, like I understand you blog in terms of fiction, poetry. If you are already doing so, then it's already a sign that you love words and you have an intelligence in linguistics. Okay? So, look at yourself. You are now in third year. Do you find yourself happy when you answer essay exams? Okay? If you find yourself happy doing so, then maybe, not just maybe, I am sure that you are intelligent linguistically because you love words. Do you find yourself communicating your ideas using words, even if it is not required? If is anybody here a member of the varsitarian? No one? See, that's the problem. We should be there. You are in advertising. Your work should be in the varsitarian. Diba? Now, my work as your science and advertising professor, if I see your work published in the varsitarian, wow. Diba? You have showed me, not just me, you have showed yourself that you have linguistic intelligence. But then the varsitarian is not just one. For all we know, if you look at your notebook, maybe you have scribbled some ideas there, no, in your notebook. But maybe you are too shy to say that it's original. Maybe you have copied a quote from a famous advertising person. Those are signs of linguistic intelligence. Now, how is it related to our subject in science? 10% of your grade will be based on your explorations of your linguistic intelligence. The blog is one. The blog is one. No? Because it's highly textual if you want so. But I am looking for something unique, something original from you. Connecting science. If you wish to connect advertising, but I'll be looking more at the science. But if you can include advertising, well and good. A special project that has something to do with your linguistic intelligence. So what are those possibilities? One, you can have a blog of your own. You can publish a book. You can have yourself published in the Varsitarian. Anything. You have. By the way, my system here would be individualized. I will have to talk to each one of you to understand what you want to do regarding that 10%. Okay? It doesn't have to be perfect. What I want to see is that you are trying. Okay? Maybe you're not good at poetry, but you say, this semester I will try poetry and science together. So I will write a poem about Copernicus and about the sun and everything. Okay, by the way, have you seen The Core? Okay, again, another thing I'm throwing, we should see The Core. It's a new movie, basically, 2000. It's about the Earth's core. Fiction, it's fiction. But maybe you'd like to write something about that. Okay, so 10% will be that. Now, I've shown you my song. Oh no, begin with the linguistic. The next one would be where you are most comfortable with, which I suppose you are, because you are in advertising in the College of Fine Arts, and it is in the area of spatial intelligence. Space. Spatial intelligence. So if you find yourself really wanting to draw, paint, spatial, Spatial, space, when you find yourself, like for example, my friend who is an architect, who is also a graduate here, an alumni of UST, as early as grade 2, he can already appreciate space layout. Whenever he enters a house, he doesn't remember the details of the house, but he remembers the layout. And he knows a good layout when he sees one. And to me, I haven't seen the one he's always telling me about. He's telling me there is this very small space, but when you enter, it's as if it's bigger than what it actually is. That's how he does it. He's an architect. I don't know if you are familiar with the Arriero. Anybody from Quezon here? Quezon. Okay, he's architect Albino Arriero. Photoshop, Illustrator. Okay, so this one is quite easy. So 10% of the science grade, natural science 102, is a special project regarding science and your spatial intelligence, which is quite easy for you. So 2. Number 3, music, because I've shown you the music. Musical intelligence, musical, rhythmic, harmonic intelligence. If you find yourself appreciating and able to understand music and sounds, harmony, then 10% of your grade will have to be a special project connecting music intelligence and science. Now, in the concrete, what I showed you can be one. It could be something. You can record your song, and that would be 10% of your grade. Okay, this is just an example. If you like to record, like for example, now I can remember a Platters song. Listen to the rhythm of the falling rain. So if you can choose a song that maybe deals with nature, if you like to do this one, to record a song, if you can sing, you can go as far as that. You can go as far as writing your own lyrics, because if you do so, then you are already combining linguistic intelligence and musical intelligence. So I will count that as 20% already. Okay? See? I will count that already as 20%. Depending on the complexity of what you want to do. So we have to discuss further. But as of now, that's how I see it. If you want to original, which I prefer, in fact, I prefer that you write creatively, and then, in fact, I recommend you to write your own music. If you can do that, then maybe that's 20%. That's the full 20. Now, what about translating? I think that's also okay, not to translate. But you see, there are also levels of exercise. I will have to see if this is worth the 10% already. But to write your own, that's for sure 10%. To make your own music, that's another perfect 10 for musical intelligence. Now, so you can combine these projects in one. Does anybody here play a musical instrument? What instrument? Ukulele? Okay, ukulele. If I'm not mistaken, that is what Daniel Padilla used. Diba? Oh, I do not see a lot of people playing the ukulele. So if you do, that's something unique. I think if you can compose, no, if you can compose, tell me what you want to do, and then we will discuss. Okay. Uh, I want you to be asking crazy questions. Like, for example, what if Isaac Newton plays the ukulele? What would he be singing about? How would he phrase his laws of gravity in musical terms? Okay? So I challenge you to ask crazy questions. Okay? Because from those crazy questions, you'll come up with concepts. Okay? So again, 10% of your grade would be dealing with musical intelligence and science. Now, if you find yourself in the UST Museum and singing to the birds, the stuffed birds. By the way, are you familiar with Joey Ayala? Joey Ayala? Who is familiar with Joey Ayala? Narinig mo lang, yes. Joey Ayala combines traditional Philippine music with culture, Philippine culture, and he is an advertising professional. No? That's something nice about Joey Ayala. So 3, what else? Interpersonal intelligence. Interpersonal intelligence. The theory says that there is a kind of intelligence that deals with your ability to deal with another person. If you find yourself able to make friends easily, that's a sign of interpersonal intelligence. If you are able to find yourself able to make friends with a group, blend well in a group easily, that's another sign of interpersonal intelligence. Now, what is a project in interpersonal intelligence in science? Again, it could be anything. But what I have in mind right now is if you can increase the number of your friends, new friends for that matter, or if it's not a new friend, show me some degree of improvement or a deepening of that friendship. How? You can always write. Right? You can write about a friendship. Now, how is it related to science? I'm thinking you should have a very special friend in the science field, or a new friend for that matter in the science field. Okay? You should have a close friend who is a biologist or a botanist, and tell me often about that person. You see, now we are talking about this requirement. At the end of the SEM, you should have communicated to me what has happened to that friendship. In the blogs, you see, you can blog about that person. You can blog about I want to see, do you take pains to know this person? Do you take pains to know what he is studying? Do you take pains to know what he is up to? And this could be, this should be alive. This person should be alive. That's one, no? That's one. Interpersonal. So group. Are you a member of a science group, science club, science? If you can be a member at the start of the semester, and then at the end of the semester, you have showed me how you have grown in that group. Okay? By way of the blogs, you see, that's how important the blogs for me are. It's a way of monitoring what's happening in your individual projects. Okay, so how many percent already? 40? So another 10 would be intrapersonal intelligence. Intra is within, inside the person. Now now what is that? If you find yourself that you like to reflect about what's happening in your life, if you like to do journals, do you like writing journals? What happened? Diaries? Okay. Those are signs of intelligence because you are looking inside you. Not everyone can do that easily. So it's really a unique intelligence if you're able to look inside you and study what's going on inside you. Intellectually, emotionally, spiritually. But spiritual, again, is another matter. But like learning, for example, are you studying yourself as a learner? Do you take the time to study? Oh, am I improving as a learner? Am I better now compared to when I was in first year college? Now I am in third year. Am I a better learner now? Am I a better classmate now? Okay. Am I a better scientist now? Or an advertising student? You know, every time you look inside and evaluate what's happening there, that's a sign of intrapersonal intelligence. So a special project about that and science, another 10%. Okay, this one is something intrapersonal. Nature. This one is quite easy. Nature intelligence. But this one is an addition. Do you find yourself able to understand workings in nature? Like, for example, do you like when you stay in a park, do you feel attracted to the science of a leaf? Do you appreciate taking care of a pet? Like feeding the pet, you know when the pet is hungry, you know how to care for a Doberman pincher, you know how to care for a lovebird or the Philippine eagle. Okay? I have met somebody who knows how to train the Philippine eagle so that when it is set free in the wild again, it will be able to survive. You know, because if you feed the Philippine eagle like you would your pet lovebird, once you set that Philippine eagle in the wild, it will be dead because it doesn't know how to feed itself. So what do? They use dummies. In fact, some of them even wear feathers in their bodies. And they even use their beaks to feed. So it's like a surrogate Philippine eagle mother, you know. Why? So that when this bird is set free to the wild, it knows the wild. Okay? So these are signs of intelligences in the nature category. So what are special projects for this? If you are taking care of a pet, tell me about it already. That's 10 points. But at the end of the semester, I would be looking for some kind of a growth, some kind of an improvement as to how you are taking care of your pet. Are you taking care of an aquarium? Do you have a terrarium? Do you have a garden? Do you have okay? Do you have a baby? Is there anybody here who is already a mother? Not yet. Father, meron na bang father dito? I guess in its most basic terms, that's one of the most basic of our nature intelligence. If you're able to take care of your child. O brother na lang, o brother or sister. That's same. Tell me if you want something special. If you want to do a special project in taking care of your aging mother, for example. Or your sister who is a special child. You know, it could be anything. It could be anything. As long as it's taking care of a living thing. Okay? Existential intelligence. What is existential intelligence? These are the new two things. Existential intelligence is dealing with your existence. Do you find yourself asking yourself, do I exist? What is my existence for? Okay. Are you bothered with these questions in the first place? Are you bothered with questions of reality? Like, for example, are you sure that what is happening now is really happening? Okay. So these are questions that relate to existential intelligence. Actually, a lot have suggested to the theorist, Professor Gardner, whether to add spiritual intelligence. But Professor Gardner does not want to call it spiritual. He prefers to call it existential. So, your studies or explorations in spiritual matters, existential matters, can fall under this category. Like, for example, maybe I'd like to throw again another idea. We are now under the patronage of St. Thomas Aquinas, St. Dominic, among other saints. Okay? There are more, right? There are more. Who are they to you? Who are they to you? Who is St. Thomas Aquinas to you? Okay? Is he just a name? Is he just a statue? A statue? Is he something more? But more than St. Thomas, I guess, who is God to you? Is there anybody here who is a Buddhist or from another philosophical school of thought? Because in the other section, we have a Buddhist. Is there a non-Catholic here? Is there a non-Catholic? May I know? Are we all Catholics? Is there a non-Catholic? All of us are Catholics? What religion do you belong to? Huh? Born again. What church? Victory. Yes. What Victory Church do you go to? Metro East? Metro East. What time do you go there? 1 p.m. Because I go there also. 7 p.m. Sundays. My best friend and wife shifted to Victory Metro East. So I go there often. So, but right now, She's in Tacloban for quite, will be staying there for good, but I go there often. No? And there are things that I learn from going to that church and also going to the Catholic Church. I have actively made friends and even studied Islam. Okay, because your professor here also taught in Bahrain. I also taught in the Kingdom of Bahrain with the a.mJuly International University and Aliyah University, where most of my students, if not all, are Muslims. And that is where I got closer contact. Although I've taught in Cagayan de Oro, Xavier University, but still mostly it's dominantly Catholic and Christian. But in Bahrain, where Islam is really the religion, the major religion, I got to understand what they mean when they say there is only one God but Allah, and Muhammad is his prophet. That's the only thing we differ. But they also have Jesus in their story, but they only have Ishmael, no Isaac, after Abraham. After Abraham, there's Ishmael. In the Catholic and Christian faiths, you have Abraham, then there's Ishmael first, and then Isaac later. Okay? So, studying of faiths, studying of spirituality. If you find yourself interested in studying spirituality and blending it with science, and come up with a project, an output for that, that's 10%. And recently I found a very nice book for worth 10 pesos being sold at Book for Less. Teilhard de Chardin, Hymn of the Universe. It's on sale, 10 pesos. I found the Hymn of the Universe. He's a priest and a scientist. And in fact, I want to study more about priests who are also scientists. Because I want to see how they integrate science and religion. Okay? So that's another 10%. Another 10% is kinesthetic intelligence. So what is kinesthetic intelligence? Or bodily intelligence. Okay? The theory says it is a kind of intelligence if you can use your body in learning. So if you can play volleyball well, if you can play basketball well, if you can swim well, if you are an acrobat, okay, if you can do something unique with your body, if you can dance, if you can act, if you can mime, okay, these are signs of kinesthetic intelligence or the body intelligence. So how can this be related to science? Okay. Well, for one, studying your performance, your physical performance is one, right? Health. Health for that matter. If you're able to take care of your health well by exercising, okay, that's one. We can do something on health. Sports. If you can connect sports with science, which we can, right? If you can scientifically study your performance in sports, and at the end of the semester, we can quantify some kind of an improvement or some kind of a learning using body intelligence, that's another 10%. Another 10%. But you see, we will have to discuss this individually. So the earlier you show me what you are interested in something, better, right?
Ilang percent po yung kailangan natin?
100. 100. So if I'm not mistaken, we're already in the 80% now or 90. So these are Yes, 9 intelligences, so 90%. Now, where is the other 10%? The last 10% will be for the exams, for the examinations, which is the prelims and the final exam. I understand that most professors would give 30% for the exams. Okay? But for me, I think 10% would be sufficient for the exams, but we spend more time and energy in the 90%, trying to explore all your intelligences, because by the time we do that, the 10% exams will be so much easy. Why? Because I believe that if you do the 9%, the 90%, the examination will be very easy. Okay? And speaking of examinations, by the way, this is where most of the ideas will be coming from. This is what is guiding me right now. I have more, but this is what I am able to bring. But in the blog, I will show you how much more. We are not limited to this. You are not required to buy integrated science, not required. But if you can have a copy of your own, it's a good investment. It's a good investment to study. Now, I understand that in some other sections, this may not be the approach for their science classes. Okay, so I'm not saying this should be better, okay, but I'm saying I think we should focus more on the science also. Because I noticed that too much of the integration in terms of advertising is immediately done without so much of the exploration of the science first. So what I would like to do is explore science with you as a subject, as a discipline. And then integration will have to be your responsibility. Integration with advertising, integration with other matters. Okay, so 10% will be final exam. Now, how do I propose that the integration be done also in this subject? There are more things to consider. Like, for example, I'm thinking that three of these projects will be done individual. Okay? 3 of these projects will be done individually. One project will have to be done with a family member. So 4. Another project to be done with a neighbor in your residence. Another project to be done with a church mate. Okay? Another project to be done with a church mate. Somebody you go to church with. Another project to be done with a Filipino. Another Filipino. Doesn't have to be, but you choose him because he's Filipino. Okay? Another to be done with a foreigner. Another to be done with a foreigner. All of this I will write down in the blog, no? So that you will have something to be reminded of. So don't worry if you cannot remember. I cannot remember it myself now. All of the details. But can you see what I'm trying to drive at? I'm trying to hit a matrix. There's a matrix of things I want us to experiment on, and I want to hit as much as possible all of this. In fact, there's another matrix, and that is the level of uh, involvement in the sciences. I'm thinking 5 of these projects will be done with a non-science major, and 5 of these will be done with a science major or a science professional. Okay? So, as of now, try to think of all your contacts. Who are your friends into science? Do you have a friend whom you talk to about gravity? By the way, there's a movie, Gravity, right? Have you seen that? Buti pa kayo, kita na ako ni Holland. But I like Sandra Bullock very much, and I'm wanting to see that movie. But can you see, Hollywood is doing it. Yeah, Hollywood is making a movie about gravity. Why not the advertising art student of UST making a video about gravity? Like one of my friends now, we talk a lot about quantum entanglement. Quantum entanglement. Because he's always telling me, he's the one updating me about quantum mechanics, quantum physics. Me, I'm still in the classical physics. But he is already into quantum physics. And he's a non-science major. In fact, he's a graphic artist. But he likes science, and that's one of the topics of conversation that we have. Okay? So I hope by the end of the semester, you find people whom you can learn with simply by conversing with them. Over the phone, when you meet somewhere, you talk about Copernicus. Okay? Talk about science, think about science, and in our case, blog about science. Right? Because yung WordPress, that's where you can blog anything. You find a link somewhere, share a link. Diba? You can share a link. You thought about science in 5 words. Post it immediately in the blog, those 5 words. Don't wait. Why? Because you can edit it later. Right? This is my recommendation for everyone. If you can post as often as you can, in fact, daily is preferred, it gives me more time, more data to assess your performance. Now, what is 5 words a day? Okay? You thought about, I hate science. I hate science. See? 3 words, but 4 syllables. And you blog that, that's considered a blog already. Now, I guess that's something unique with blogs. Blogs are, di ba you can do that in Facebook? I hate science. I think you can do that also in the blogs. But the nice thing about here, you can always go back to it and edit later. I hate science because. Okay. Okay, after a week, I hate science because. Okay? That's the nice thing about WordPress. In fact, you can do that also in Facebook. You can edit, right? You can edit your posts in Facebook. Same thing, you can edit your post in WordPress. And in fact, I appreciate that you edit. Why? Why do I appreciate that you edit? Because that is the process of thinking. The process of thinking says that we can change our minds. We thought about there is no God. Diba? And I can prove to you that there is no God. And I can always quote Nietzsche. But then, maybe 20 years from now, my life has changed, and I read about Summa Theologia by St. Thomas Aquinas. And now I can prove to you that there is God. So I can change my mind, right? So same with blogs. You can edit, and I will appreciate that you edit because I see that you are thinking. And that's what I'm here for. I want to stimulate your interest in the sciences. If by the end of the semester you say, I love science more, then I would have done my job. If you can say, I love science as an advertising professional, then I feel much better. See? Then if you say, I love so much now that I am shifting to the College of Science as a botanist, then it's also okay for me because we need scientists also. In fact, maybe as a scientist, you know what? In the science field, they need advertising professionals. Why? So much research is being done in the science field. No one is telling the world about it. Right? But recently in the news yesterday, what was the news yesterday? Huh? Anybody? Oh, any science technology news yesterday that you read about or saw in the television? You're not listening to Kuya Kim? There's a Filipino airplane that runs on unleaded gasoline. There's a Filipino invented airplane that runs on unleaded gasoline. It's a light plane, and then the wings are detachable so that you can park it in small spaces, in small hangars. It solves some problem. It's not, the airplane can be only attributed to the Wright brothers. But, you see, that's also a contribution. A plane that runs in unleaded gasoline. In fact, if 3 weeks from now, you see me landing in the open field, don't be surprised. Another technology recently used was, it's a ceramic jar that filters water. So within an hour or so, you can have maybe 3 glasses of water, pure water, from hard water. From hard water, meaning from deep wells. From deep wells, that's not easily potable, right? But if you put that in that filter, it's made of ceramics, it will be purified, you will get drinking water. Now, very useful for the Philippines, wherein we have not so much water in the rural areas. Okay? Okay, so any questions? Huh? Any questions? Yes? Yes, in fact, I think I'm still recording. No? I will post this recording in the blog. In fact, I have posted already the one I had in the previous class last week. If you want to listen to it also, I have posted it already. Okay? Now, I want to hear something from you. I want to hear something. I will check your attendance, and as I check your attendance, tell me what's on your mind. Huh? So, tell me what's on your mind about what about anything, about what we've discussed, about anything. It could be not related. By the way, what I'm trying to do now is I will post this in the blog. So this is how I do it because we can post audio. So what I do now is I will upload this to SoundCloud, and then from SoundCloud I embed to WordPress. Okay? That's one way. Glenn Acero, what's on your mind? What's on your mind?
Selfie.
Yung mga ano po, kasi curious po kasi ako sa sa science, pero wala po. Pero hindi po ako into science, pero curious po ako.
Curious.
Curious Glenn.
Ayun.
I'm glad you've mentioned the word curiosity because that's one thing we should change also. The common thought is curiosity killed the cat. Right? But I don't think all cats were killed by curiosity. Some of the cats may have learned something, but not all were killed. No? We have something in common also with Jose Rizal. When his mother was teaching him something, Jose Rizal was looking into the flame and noticed that that there was a moth trying to go closer to the flame, but then the flame burned the moth, which is quite serious, right? Now, maybe what I would like to share is those warnings come from fear, right? They come from fear. Now, I don't think we should be stopped by fear. I think we should dare to come closer to the fire. I think we should dare to be curious. Okay? Fire, in that case, was something associated with danger. But fire is also associated with light. And light is associated with the truth. In fact, in biblical terms, Moses was confronted with a burning bush. But of course, Moses was warned not to come any closer. But Moses is a bit timid, you see. He needed a brother. He needed Aaron. When God said, "Save my people," what did Moses say? "Lord, I don't have the gift of speech. I don't know how to lead people. I can only kill an Egyptian." "Don't worry, Moses," God said. "I will send you your brother who can speak for you." Okay? Now my question is, what if Moses had been more daring? What if Moses came closer to the fire? Can you imagine Moses approaching that burning bush? Imagine yourself, you see a burning bush here. What do you do? Huh? Panic? Don't you feel the urge to come closer? Feel the light, feel the heat of the burning bush? Okay, I don't know. It's all up to us, actually. It's all our individual instincts, what to do when confronted with the burning bush. But I say, dare to go closer. Dare to go closer. Okay? If it kills you, so what? You're dead anyway. You won't know. But one of my favorite script writers, Ricky Lee. You know Ricky Lee? The writer of Himala, a lot of famous Filipino films. Rino Broca films. Okay, what did he teach? What did he teach me? Okay, he was my teacher. Okay. Ricky Lee said, try to go to the edge. Try to go to the edge. Don't travel the usual path. Try to go to the edges. That's where you will find your stories. Okay? And in relation to Star Trek, to go where no man has gone before. Now, if by the end of the semester, no, beginning of the semester, you can say, okay, I will try to go to a place where no one has tried before. Then you go there. At the end of the semester, these are the things that I discovered when I went to that place. And of course, you have used light to travel. Irene, Andres? Irene, what's on your mind?
Sir, iniisip ko po yung mga pwedeng makausap para dun sa gagawing project.
Okay. And what have you thought about right now? Mga inaisip ka na ba?
Yung bunso ko pong kapatid, mahilig sa mga science.
Mahilig siya.
Yung,
So non-science major, pero mahilig
po,
sa
hindi po, mas bata pa po.
Ah, mas bata? Okay, okay.
Ano lang po sa science.
Okay. Sige. Okay, it could be anything, huh? So, Irene was thinking of the people now he wishes to interact with regarding this subject. So, brother na mahilig sa science, why not? You can incorporate taking care of nature, brother. Di ba? Or some other things na yun. Joseph Aquino? Joseph? What's on your mind, Joseph?
Adprac.
AdPrac. Ah, okay. Okay. What is AdPrac? What do you have in AdPrac?
We perhaps we might have a discussion later kasi.
AdPrac 4?
Yeah. Tas di pa ako tapos magbasa.
Okay. Okay. I'm glad you are thinking about AdPrac. So maybe you are, because I'm teaching AdPrac also, AdPrac 4. So if you can integrate two subjects in this subject, I can count it. Like, I don't know the requirements in your AdPrac, but if you can integrate two, di ba? You are doing this for science and AdPrac, then less job, di ba? Less job. Like, for example, a marketing plan on the promotion of science for non-science majors. An advertising campaign on Juan Tamad as not Juan Tamad. Is Juan Tamad the same as Isaac Newton? Or things like that. Now, if you can integrate it, I would appreciate that. Justin Buduan. What's on your mind, Justin?
Pagkain.
Okay, food. Yes, you're probably hungry. So, from time to time, just holler. Just tell me you are already hungry. Like, for example, what time is it now? Am I overdoing it? Is it 10 already? 9:49? Sige, it's almost 10. So, we are one body here. And if one person is hungry, We can always manage our time. Do you have a next class after this? What time is it? Oh, track. So which you have to, ano now. Okay. 30 minutes before time is okay, no? If we dismiss you 30 minutes before time, around. So we can go plus or minus that time. So food, yes. Okay. Because you have to, as long as you share food with me, that was Justin. Corpus, Trisha. Trisha, Corpus, where's Trisha? Yeah.
I'm thinking about, uy, grabe, ano, no, I'm thinking about how am I going to survive in AdPrac and at the same time po sa SEM kasi po it's hard to be in a third year level na po kasi pressure is there. And then po um, kasi po yung tawag ito, nakaka-pressure po para sa akin kasi po gusto ko may urge po talaga akong mag-graduate dito and po gusto ko pong maging maging successful po sa future. Kaya po
Thank you, Trisha. You have shared your most deep motivations. Okay, motivation is the key to learning, really. If you are motivated to learn, then you will learn. You will learn. Okay? So keep up the spirit. And if there is something in science that I can help you with in your other subjects, please let me know. I am also teaching advertising, and maybe the difference is that I wish to ground advertising with more science. And I want to promote science. Now, if I can infect you with the idea and the notion of science communication, if you can apply that as much in your other subjects, then you can integrate that as your projects here. Okay? Janica Cortez.
Ano, hindi na. Tatayo pa ba? Iniisip ko po ngayon, OJT. Kasi, hindi ko alam kung excited ba ako about doon or hindi ko po alam kung paano tumatakbo yung OJT or dapat po ba akong maging excited about it. Tsaka, paano po ba yung process, paano mag-apply sa mga companies. So, ayun po.
They are looking for someone at the National Aeronautical Space Administration. Gusto ko yan. Okay. There are a lot of science museums. Maybe you can try. But one thing I recommend, OJT is the best time to really learn something. Now, it also depends on where you are assigned. Sometimes the company where you are assigned helps the OJT. Sometimes they don't. Whether they do or they don't, it's up to you to find a way to make it relevant to you. So if sometimes they're not too keen on what you want to do, make an effort to push what you want. When I say push, doesn't mean push as in be irritating. No, I want you to communicate to them what you want to happen with your. In fact, volunteer to as many assignments, departments as you can. Huh? And you can talk to me also about OJT in some other way also. I will try to look for one, if I can. When do you need it? When do you need OJT? Summer. For summer. Okay. We have a lot of time. Jairus, David? No. Sorry. Janica. That's Janica. Eliza Kugal. Eliza, yes. What's on your mind?
Ano lang po, paano ko may improve yung sarili ko as artist or an advertising student.
Okay, that's good, no? You want to know how. You want to know how to improve. So these are questions of motivation. So uh, in my subject, I say include science in your goal. And then as a general thing, be the best student you can become. In general, we can talk about the details also later. Okay, I cannot ask everyone because there's hunger already in that area. So just, where's that's Jairus, no? That's Jairus. Where's Bettina de los Reyes? Bettina, okay, Bettina. I will talk to you later. Huh? Marjorie, Marjorie de la Rosa. Marjorie, it's Marjorie. Francis Carlo de Ocampo. Yeah. Micaela Dionisio. Micaela Dionisio, okay. Beatriz Espino. Beatriz Espino. Annalise. Ann Luis. Paula Gisala. What? Wala si Ann Luis. Genevieve Gomez. Genevieve Gomez. Genevieve Gomez. Julia Hobayan. Julia Hobayan. Jinwei Hong. Jinwei Hong. Katrina Imperial. Katrina Imperial. Roselco. Roselco. Hannah Ledesma. Hannah Ledesma. Joaquin Ledesma. Joaquin Legaspi, rather. Legaspi. Gabriel Lucido. Gabriel Lucido. Juan Gabriel Mendoza. Maria Almira Mortel. How are you related to Mylene Mortel? Mylene Mamel Mortel? Pareho? Taga Batangas. Oh? One of my close friends, from Saint Scholastica ka ba? Hindi. San Beda. So nga Saints ko, ano yun eh. UE, dentist na ngayon. Dentist. CEU pala, CEU. If you come across. Kasi yung dentistry, di ba? Dental science. Science pa rin. So, if you can relate to her, pwede, di ba? Tapos yung project mo, magbubunot ka ng ipin dito. Chelsea. Chelsea pala, Chelsea. Chelsea Murphy. Danica Nang. How are you related to Rolly Nang? How are you related to Rolly Nang? Hindi kilala. Rolly Nang is cameraman of the year ng Reuters International. So, if you can, maybe you're related to him. Check. Ang trabaho naman niya is he's a journalist. So he takes videos even in war conditions. So kahit gera yan, may video. Danica ng Michelle Padilla. How are you related to the Padillas, the actors and the actresses? Not related? So we are not related? Jericho Ramos. Wala si Jericho. Alcen Servillon. Alcen. And then Janina Simbilio. Janina. No one else? Did I miss anyone? Okay. You write your name here? Okay. So, class, I pray that you would enjoy science and integrate it into your other subjects as much as possible. That's one way of enjoying it. Okay. Yes. You are free to go now if you wish.
Wala po ako sa list niyo.
Wala sa list? Okay.